morning, everybody. Morning. Happy Thursday morning. All right, before we do anything, I want you to know that this video is being sponsored by the VPN company. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information here. You might have seen this before, but it's so important, so pay attention to this. Let's talk about some online security, shall we? You guys all know who follow my channel that I was doxxed online. You know that my name, age, profession, location, and even my special needs son autism diagnosis was put out on the web. We know who did that, but it could have been prevented. So simple, just by using a VPN. And the VPN provider that I use is Atlas VPN. So what is a VPN? Well, that's simple. It's an encrypted tunnel that nobody can see into, including hackers, the government, and even your internet service provider. This makes sure that your online activity remains private and secure and free from outside interference. Atlas shields your identity from websites, apps, and services that want to track you. While some companies limit the amount of devices you can use, Atlas VPN allows you to use it on unlimited devices. It's also good for streaming. Let's say you're on Netflix in the United States, but there's a show that you really want to watch that's on Netflix in Europe. Just go onto your VPN, change your location, and you can watch TV in other areas that normally wouldn't be available to you. Right now, Atlas VPN has the best deal in the market. Get the most affordable online protection for just $1.83 a month plus 3 months extra with a 30-day money-back guarantee. To make sure, here's a link that you can scan just in case you're unable to find the one in the description box. You can also go into the video description below, but be fast. This is a limited time offer. So don't wait, you guys. Click the link and get secure with Atlas VPN. Super important, guys, because, just a few days ago, I got assaulted by Boozy again. You know, if I'd had that VPN, he wouldn't know who I am, just like he doesn't know who Megan's mole is. He keeps claiming she's somebody else that she isn't because she uses a VPN. So that's important. All right, we have a lot of royal stuff to cover today, so let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're starting off with the fact that royal coronation outfits that may never be seen again publicly are now going on display. They're bringing together royal coronation outfits for the last 100 years. And it's among 200 items that's there. We have the glove from Queen Elizabeth that she used during her coronation, which I believe was reused by Prince Charles. We have the satin coronation dress worn by Queen Mary, which was King Charles's great-grandmother. What a beautiful dress. My goodness, so intricate. And can I just say kudos to the people who helped preserve these items. Could you imagine if they weren't properly taken care of? They have the only known surviving dress from Queen Elizabeth, the first Queen Elizabeth. The gown or the Victorian order robe that was worn by Princess Catherine is there. These are items that you may never see again. So they're only showing these things up to November 12th. So get out there quick. Moving on. Moving on now to Queen Camilla. Apparently there is a radio drama in the UK called The Archer, and it just celebrated its 200th episode, and Queen Camilla is a big fan, and so she went to congratulate them, and the picture she's holding is a picture of the original radio cast. Now, she was not at the celebration. She had a previous engagement, but she did send a personal message to the show's editor. She did go in 2021, as you can see above, for their 70th anniversary with actress June Spencer. 70 years. Wow. You know who else was on that show? Princess Margaret. So cool. So this show, for those of you who don't know, is a radio soap opera that focuses on the Archer family, their fellow residents. It started in 1951. It's one of the longest running radio programs in the world. Unbelievable. Moving on. All right, let's move on to King Charles. Now, this is just a little article that came out, but I thought it was important. Crown Prince Pavlos, who is vice president of the Prince's Trust International and the eldest son of Queen Anne Marie of Greece and King Constantine, is going to accept the 2023 Athenagoras Human Rights Award on behalf of the Prince's Trust. It's going to happen on October 21st at the Human Rights Banquet. Fabulous. Now, he's done that because King Charles, who is, we know, the founder and president of the Prince's Trust, cannot attend the awards banquet. And so he asked the Crown Prince if he would receive the award in his stead, which I think is very nice. And apparently the prince has really been helping out Charles with the guidance for the Prince's Trust International. All right, moving on. All right, we're going to stick with King Charles for another minute. He went and visited the James Jones and Sons Limited Sawmill in Scotland. It is a family-owned company. It does forest products. It's in its 5th generation of leadership. And apparently the hub is very close to the king's private residence, you know, where he stays in the summer. So he went there, he put on a hard hat, and he went to look how this place has recently been refurbished, and it has increased production of construction timber as a renewable, recyclable product, as a alternative to high carbon intensive like steel and concrete. Pretty cool. Apparently he was there in 1999 and was joking he may not be around to return in another 25 years. I think he will be. Anyway, you know, they do the usual. He sat down, he signed the book, he opened a plaque, and he looked at some pictures from the earlier times, which I think is really cool. I love these kinds of things. We're moving on now to Princess Anne, who gave an OBE to wheelchair tennis champion Alfie Hewitt. Wonderful. He is an 8-time Grand Slam singles champion. He won his 4th U.S. Open title this year. And he was, the person he played against was his doubles partner, Gordon Reed. Gordon Reed also was appointed an OBE, and together they have won 18 wheelchair doubles Grand Slam titles, including Wimbledon this year. Congratulations. Next up, and we're going to stick with Princess Anne, she went to St. Andrews for PT Centers. Now that is a quote-unquote a force for promoting and improving health and well-being. This is a police treatment center. So they have 2 residential rehab centers, and they treat ill and injured police family members there. I thought maybe it was for the police, but it's for the family members. She has been the patron since December of 2021. She went through the center, she spoke to, you know, staff, patients, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, she unveiled a plaque, you know, and she highlighted the need for all officers. Fabulous. Moving on. All right, moving on to Princess Catherine and Prince William. The 2 of them stepped out to honor Black History Month in the UK on Tuesday. Everybody was shocked because Catherine wore the same suit that she saw Apple CEO Tim Cook in on Friday. I don't see what the problem is. It's a great outfit. So like I said, they were celebrating Black History Month, but this visit is also for the 75th anniversary of the arrival of the HMT Empire Windrush to the United Kingdom. So during the visit, well, to start with, let's just go back. During the visit, they arrived and there were school children from St. Paul's Primary, Grangetown, and Howardian, and they were so excited to see Catherine and William. They were absolutely just out of this world crazy to see them. Incidentally, besides the fact, I would just want to note that you can see that Catherine and William are extremely good with children. They were at a place called the Grange Pavilion. Now, this is a project partnership between Grangetown Community Action, Cardiff University, Cardiff Council, and the Grange Pavilion Project. The article says, and I'm quoting, that this venue has become the key meeting place for the Ethnic Minority Youth Forum, the Windrush Cymru Elders, and the Black History Cymru 365 for Wales. Wow, must be a really nice place. So eventually, all good things have to come to an end, and it was time for them to walk away from the children and walk into the building. And here is just a little video, a little smidge of the reaction from the children because they were so happy to see them. Watch this. Amazing. The kids just love them. So anyway, they finally get up to the front door where they meet people. We got a few really good shots of Catherine, hair looking absolutely gorgeous. I mean, she's just glowing. Anyway, they finally walked into the building. They're going to be talking to Windrush generation to hear about their contribution to the Welsh community. Here is what happened when they entered the room. Yeah, people in the UK love, listen, you guys can say, and Omid Scobie can post and all of this stuff all you want, but the truth is, people love them. They really do. Now, at one point, they stood up, they were having, after, the discussions, they were having their picture taken together, and Prince William made a joke that somebody was pinching his rear end. That made everybody laugh. They got a good picture with that one, oh my God. And by the end, they were calling him the Prince of Hugs because all the women there were wanting to hug him. So, of course, William obliged, but watch this. They are such naturals with people. I mean, it's a gift, that you can talk to anybody. Okay, then it came time to leave. So, of course, on the way out, she got the obligatory flowers, beautiful flowers from the kids. And then somebody presented her with, I think it's called a Victorian sponge cake. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that one of my friends from the UK actually made me one of these. It barely lasted in my house a couple of hours. It was really good. And of course, again, with the hugs, Catherine and William don't mind giving those out. This one lady, you could tell she just loved them. I just think it's wonderful that, they're all touchy, lovey like this instead of other people. In other words, these people initiate the contact, not the other way around. Does that make sense what I'm saying? All right. Now, so the next thing that happened was Catherine and William met people involved in the Ethnic Minority Youth Forum, which is a youth-advised panel for Race Council at the same pavilion. Now, at some point, they were at the Fitzalan High School, and they met with pupils using technology, arts, and science to, look at their cultural heritage and the significance of the Windrush generation. This school, they're saying, most of the pupils are direct relatives from the Windrush elders and other cultural backgrounds, and this school is one of the most disadvantaged and diverse schools in the area. No NDAs signed. Very interesting. Now, a lot of these kids were doing A-levels and vocational studies. And of course, Catherine spoke to them about George's upcoming studies and, how nervous he was. Now, at one point, these two decided they were going to challenge each other in table tennis or ping pong, whatever you want to call it. We know how competitive these two are. They didn't say who won the match. Of course not. Probably Catherine. And of course, before they left the school, Catherine went down to speak to some students. They did a performance of steel pans and drums. King Charles visited the school in 2016 to watch the same thing. That's cool. Now, at some point before they left, Catherine did this tribute with her hands in a heart shape. And this was in tribute to Welsh football legend Gareth Bale. Because Bale, who was born in Cardiff, is considered to be one of the best footballers to ever play for Wales. He had a big career, and that apparently is what he used to do. Love it. And a big thank you, as usual, to Remoulade Sauce for all the information on her outfit. Now, I have to point this out because, of course, the Sugars are claiming that the royal family doesn't celebrate Black History Month. I can find social media posts across the board for every year, going back to like 2018, where they did celebrate Black History Month. Harry and Meghan, on the other hand, recently called into question because they sat down in 2020 and talked about projects that they've launched to celebrate Black History Month in the UK. And this is what she had to say. Listen to this.
Together and do it. I mean, truth be told, and I was in the UK for a few years until we moved back here, I didn't realize that there was a Black History Month in Britain.
You guys heard it. She didn't know there was a Black History Month in the UK, even though she participated in it because children wrote her letters. I mean, exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let's move on. Moving on to Duchess Sophie. She went to visit the Brooklands Innovation Academy. They had an event which connects students which are between the ages of 11 and 18 with engineers, mathematicians, and scientists from leading businesses. So Sophie went to tour the program, which, by the way, is in it's in its second year. She looked gorgeous. I loved the leather. So this event is part of the National Science Summer School Program. It was co-founded by Professor Brian Cox, Lord Andrew Mawson, and the Well North Enterprises. And they're having a key event at the Brooklyn Museum, which will be attended by 400 secondary students. That's a lot. Now, fans are going on about her outfit, some saying that it was too edgy, and I don't see anything wrong with what she was wearing. I thought she looked absolutely lovely. And a big thank you, as usual, to Remoulade Sauce for all of the information. Now, at some point during the trip, she put on a lab coat and she joined some of the kids in some sort of a lab session. They're talking about the importance of STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. They're trying to get kids more, excited towards that and wanting to do that kind of work. I don't know what she was mixing, but I don't know that I would have been sticking my nose in there sniffing it. Maybe it was food and not chemicals. Who knows? FYI, apparently it was a toothpaste workshop, so I find that interesting. She looked great. Way to go, Sophie. All right, time to move on now. All right, this next story kind of got me. So this guy self-published a book that was inspired by Harry and Meghan, and it was about a Prince Archie who falls in love with a violinist named Lucy, who he meets in New York. But the guy made her white. So people are like, what? Guys, she identified as white, as Caucasian on her resume. She identified as Caucasian her whole life until she married Harry. Guys, like, really? Don't forget, guys, that Meghan said she was never treated as a woman of color until she started dating Harry. But this is what she looked like before she started dating Harry. Yeah, no. Now here she is after she started dating Harry. And people were calling, this is a spray tan. This isn't even a real tan. But she's not the only person who can darken up. As you can see, when I am not out in the sun, I'm as white as snow. But I too can, although mine is a real tan, not a fake tan. Now then, this article came out saying that Meghan wasn't going to go to the UK because she would be accused of embarrassing the king. That is actually not what happened. She's not returning to the UK because people in the UK don't like her and she might get tomatoes thrown at her. And finally, you know that their SussexRoyal.com is still up. I've told you guys, and people are still tagging posts like Nacho from Polo. He tagged Sussex Royal. So even though they were told they couldn't have it, they haven't shut it down. But yet it still says on the website that the Queen is still alive. So much for not spreading misinformation. All right, you guys, you know what to do. And if you've donated to my coffee fund or through the thanks button, thank you so much.